Good morning, my lovely friends. It is the 14th of July 2026. It is a Tuesday, and I'm not feeling particularly tickety-boo today. I was in pain a lot of yesterday. Not so much this morning, but that's not to say over the course of the day the pain won't increase. But I had 2 lots of codeine yesterday to try and cope with my hands and my feet, my toes. Excuse me, just really weren't right. Yeah. So what we got today, I will tell you. You might have noticed from the card at the beginning, 6 months. It was Rob that actually pointed it out to me. He did a bit of maths and he said his maths weren't up to scratch, so maybe I ought to check. But yeah, 365 divided by 2 is 182 and a half. And this is episode 182. So between them, today and tomorrow, is my 6 months of doing this. I'm not going to say that I didn't think I'd make it to 6 months when I started it all, because I weren't sure entirely what was going to happen. But yeah, here we are, 182 episodes in. I'm still enjoying doing them. It's part of my day that I look forward to, actually sitting here and talking to you a lot, whether you lot watch them or not. It's not the most important thing for this. This is, like I say, and I'll discuss this when we get to me 18 months being out of hospital. Well, 18 months since I went into hospital on 23rd of July. I'll discuss a bit of that then. But yeah, it's still quite therapeutic to sit here and look through what, my time up with one thing or other. It's going to be weird because come 15th of January, round about then, that I started doing them, it's going to get to the point that I've already told you what's happened in the past. So I'm going to have to start thinking, alright, I've got another 6 months to think of it, but I'm going to have to start thinking about things to tell you, things to talk about. Which, yeah, I'd not thought of that until other day. But yeah, so been at it 6 months. I had a phone call yesterday from the people that are going to do my CT scan. And sorry. Excuse me 1 second. Another claggy day. I panicked at first, thinking there was something wrong with it, but apparently on the day that I were going to be having my CT scan, the scanner's getting annual maintenance, so they fetched it forward by a week, which is good, because the first home game of the season is the day that we're going. My appointment were 10:30, and you never know with these things how long we're going to take, and I didn't really want to be rushing about getting to Sheffield, getting home from Sheffield. Admittedly, like I keep telling you, I could throw a stone in it Oakwell from our house, but I didn't want it to be a mad lash rush, because they do close so much streets off and we might not have been able to get up anyway. It's not going to happen now because it's the week before. Let me think then. 12 months ago, came downstairs, instantly knew that Baxter were going to be in bother. In all the years that we've had our Bella, she's very, very, very rarely chewed anything. Our Baxter, on the other hand, like I say, I came downstairs a year ago today and found Vicky's flip-flops in numerous pieces. This is how they looked in the floor of the front room, and these are the bits that I picked up in between the room and the kitchen. So thankfully they're only cheap ones, but yes, there's a little swine for that kind of thing. Don't do it all the time, but occasionally. 2 years ago, it must have been a Sunday, because I was making one of our service users a Sunday roast. My Yorkshire pudding skills come to the fore. Weren't right often I did Sunday mornings. Usually I started at 2:30 on a Sunday, but for some reason that Sunday, sorry, I've got an itchy ear. For some reason that Sunday I was on 7 while 2:30 shift. So I got to making my dinner, which is nice because you get to have a bit of it. So that was 2 years ago. It come up on my time up that 7 years ago when we were at Beta, we saw Captain Hot Knives, and it made me remember that it passed in February this year, sadly. Very funny, very clever, very witty musician. If you've never heard any of this stuff, you should. Anti-Gravity Cats is one that always sticks in my mind. And 8 years ago, I think it was Old Picture House, but I played Meg's 50th birthday. Now Meg's Ian. I knew him online for quite a while, but the very first time I met him in person was a football match, and I think it was Stockport away. And I remember I'd gone with our Finn, and we got off the coach outside the ground, and I'm stood there, and there's a group of lads looking at us, and this one lad just sort of like and made a beeline for me, and I'm thinking, what the fucking have I done to upset him? And he just comes striding right up to me, and he's like, "Hey up, Sam, it's Megs." Yeah, change your trousers, please. Speaking of which, I think that's the one where I finally had diarrhea on my own. Thankfully, there were a toilet on bus. And he'll really thank me for telling you that. But bearing in mind, oh God, this has got to be 12 years back, if not more. He must have been a kid. He was still at school, I don't know that much. But yeah. So there's not pretty much else to tell you. Football tonight, isn't it? Is it France v Spain, I want to say? I can't remember. Just bear with me. I know we play Argentina tomorrow. Yeah, France v Spain tonight. I was going to cash out on Argentina, and I still might though. It was £17, then it went up to £18, it went back down to £15 yesterday. It's going off down to the kick to ball. Unbelievable. Oh, so yeah. I did say I might have been going into town to Vinyl Underground today. I don't think I woke up this morning, my stomach's a bit iffy. I had to go running. I said running. I had to go walking as fast as I could with the Zimmer frame to the toilet this morning. Again, too much information. I'm sorry for that. But yeah, anyway, that's where we're at. 6 months. Who'd have thunk it? Here's to another 6, and however many more. TTFM.